Let's look at another ScoreGen example. First, we'll introduce another pattern, make heap. So heap is a pattern that generates values from a list, but rather than going through the list in order, it picks elements of the list in random order without replacement, meaning that we exhaust all of the elements in the list before we start using them again. Heap has some optional parameters. The for parameter we'll learn about later, but it gives the length of a period. These patterns come in periods that are useful when we compose patterns later. And the second parameter, max, is the maximum number of times you can repeat an element in the output. So what happens when you're choosing elements from a list? Let's assume that all of the elements are different, like A, B, C. All right, so if you output that in random order, you might get B, C, A, and then you've used up all of the elements, so you put all of the elements back into the list and choose randomly again. And the second time, you might choose another A. So then you get the pattern B, C, A, and that fact that A is repeated sometimes is very jarring to a listener. And so if you want to control that, you can set the optional parameter max to 1, and then when heap goes to, if it randomly picks an A and sees that it's a repetition, it'll put it back in the list and make a different choice. Here is an example of a score using two different pattern objects. We're going to use make heap to select pitches. So we'll play randomly pitches from this list, C, C sharp, E, F, A, B flat. And we set max to 1 to prevent us from ever playing the same pitch twice. And then for the rhythmic pattern, we're using a cycle, which is 16th, 16th, 8th, 16th, 8th, 16th. Bump, 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 bump. Here in the ScoreGen macro, we see that we specify IOI as pick the next element from the rhythm pattern. For pitch, we say take the next pitch from the pitch pattern. Here's what it sounds like.